the hell does this happen to an atomic clock? Productions presents Bath Time with the Cat. Okay, not really. And while this battery is actually working, I figure I would show you my current server corner. This is NAS 1. We put this together on video. This is all of that Pentium D hardware. It's in there. 80 gigabyte total storage. Working good. NAS 2 is right there. That is the HP D530 CMT. And it's got, what, 200 gigabytes of storage? Something like that. It's running Windows Server, unfortunately, but I don't really have a choice because it's a 32-bit architecture, and apparently nobody produces Linux distributions that work on 32-bit anymore, so, well, we're stuck with that. And then the most recent one is down there. That is NAS 3. That is the HP DX5150, and it has got 500 gigabytes of storage. This one's being used to store executable programs. That one's being used to store basically low-end radio stuff. It's almost just turned into random storage at this point, though. And that one is being used to store backup hard drive images. This is also going to be a multi-part video, just like NAS 1. However, it is not going to be a lot of parts. I'm planning only 2 parts. This is NAS 4, or will be NAS 4, as soon as I'm done with it. And my goal for this one is to install... Really what I want to do is I want to have storage for YouTube videos. And what I mean by that is videos from other YouTube channels. Now, some people are probably going, well, why would you do that? Why would you download my videos, you freak? What I do with that is basically when the internet's out, or if I'm traveling, or don't want to access internet as a bandwidth saver, as well, although it doesn't really matter anymore because bandwidth isn't a problem anymore, but it used to be. I would download entire YouTube channels and watch videos that way. You know, you watch it once on YouTube, you like it, comment on it, whatever, and then every subsequent time you watch it, you watch the local copy, which saves immensely on bandwidth, especially back, you know, when I used to be younger, I used to watch the same video multiple times, so that's what that does. So it's nice to have a local copy of all this stuff, but I need to have somewhere to put it, and I want to limit the number of drives on my main computer. So that's why I've been building all these NAS machines. And hey, you know, it's something for these things to do. This is the HP DC7600 SFF. If you remember this thing, I picked it out of a scrap pile. It works fine. It was running Windows 7 Enterprise. I actually took the drive out of this, and put it into the Dell GX280. Because the GX280 had a 200 gigabyte hard drive in it, and that was just going unused. I have the GX280 right now in a holding pattern. It will, if this thing down here proves to be continuously unreliable, even after I replace the video card, which you can see is more than done. I never did understand the point of these stupid solid capacitor things. They're not solid caps. They're electrolytic capacitors, but they made them look like solid caps. Why would you just not put solid caps on there? Doesn't make any sense. But anyway, so this thing, which was actually going to do that originally, is now going to be doing this. So, and the reason why I'm doing that is because the Dell is, it fits in the studio a little bit more, I think. And, well, that's really the only reason why, is because I want it to match that GX270 if I have to use it. Anyways, so, what's the specs on this thing? I think it's got 4 gigs of RAM installed in it, if I remember right. I may take out this DVD drive and put a CD-ROM in here instead, because OpenMediaVault is CD-ROM based. And I'm only really going to be installing it once anyway, so I'm probably going to do that. Take that out, put a CD-ROM in it. But it's got the 200 gigabyte Samsung hard drive in it. There's no backup going on here, because really, it's just downloaded YouTube videos. Most of them will probably already be on YouTube. And losing videos that have already been, if there's anything important, I'll save it somewhere else. So, there is that. Now, as for an operating system, this thing, because I actually did manage to get it to work on this, it will be running OpenMediaVault. Now, OpenMediaVault is a competitor, at least presumably, to NAS for Free. NAS for Free is based on FreeBSD, and it is what all but one of my current network-attached storage servers runs on. OpenMediaVault is based on Debian, so it's a little bit different. And I think that the GUI, the web administration interface, is a lot further advanced than the web interface for NAS for Free. And hey, YouTube videos are media, so it actually makes sense. It's more so an experimentation than it is any technical reason to use OpenMediaVault. In fact, there really is no technical reason to use OpenMediaVault over anything else. All of them seem to work pretty well, exactly the same. I've never done configured OpenMediaVault, so I guess that's going to be a learning experience, which we will get into when I get into all of the software setup in the next part of the video. But for now, let me get a tripod, and we are going to install OpenMediaVault. Okay, so before I actually begin with the installation process, I am going into setup, making sure that it's configured correctly. Get this piece of junk out of the way. So, Pentium 4, 3 gigahertz, 4 gigs of RAM, sounds good. Probably should have updated the BIOS before I did this, but that's fine. I'll have to find a flash ROM for it if I want to do that. I don't know if I care enough. 200 gigabyte. Sounds good to me. Hold on a minute. Yeah, it should be fine. Storage options. SATA emulation. Separate IDE controller. What can we change that to? Combined. Yeah, let's just leave it separate. Self-test. Boot order. Should be fine. Now, before I do anything else, I'm going to grab my OpenMediaVault disk. I'm going to put that in. I didn't change the optical drive. I'll have to do that once I actually get an optical drive, because I don't know if I've got one that actually works. I've got a lot of CD-ROMs, but I don't think I've got a lot of... Well, a CD-ROM would be fine. I don't know, I think I'm missing a couple drives. Are they over here? Oh yeah, there's a couple over here. Oh boy, okay, so... Yeah, this CD-ROM should be more than good enough. And it's even got screws in it. Cool. So, yeah, I'll do that in a minute after I'm done the installation process. So, what I want to do... Smart cover. What I want to do... No. No. I always find that amusing. Turn on options. After power loss, on. Because I will not have access to the back panel when I put it over there, so let's do that. Everything else there should be okay. Save changes and exit. This tripod is humongously in my way. I hope that's in focus. I have the camera in manual focus mode because I didn't want it zooming wildly in and out of focus while I was recording the video. I'm lazy, I know. I could have very easily just set up, you know, a monitor and done it that way, but I'm just using the KVM switch because it is easy. Okay. You want to push enter and it does that. This is booting. Looks like it's booting. This is the installer. Like I said, it's Debian Linux, so if you are familiar with Debian, you are familiar with this. Should have Ethernet plugged in, I hope. I'm going to configure it for a static IP address anyway, but it will be interesting to see if DHCP works. Very interesting to see if DHCP works. I mean, it should. There's no real reason why it shouldn't. But I found that DHCP on my network is hit and miss. For reasons that I don't really understand, to be quite honest. Protecting network hardware. Okay, here we go. Not using IPv6. See if it'll actually configure it with DHCP. Sure is taking its sweet time, don't you think? Yep. Configure network manually. Alright, this is going to get address 9. Netmask is fine. Gateway is good. Name server is good. This is NAS 4. Domain name should be local, sure. Oops. Root password. Hang on a minute. Okay, I actually did set one instead of setting it to something ridiculous like hack me. Because I figured, I actually did forget to do it on the GOS box, so whoops. Well, I've changed it since then, because I've had it out since then, but such is the way that things go. Now, the partitioning is rather strange. It does it automatically, and it uses the whole disk. So I'm guessing the idea is that you're supposed to create your own little volume to share to. I'm gonna have to figure that out. It's fine, I don't really care that much, but it takes away from my storage, man. I did try USB, but this is another one of those lovely machines that will not do USB booting for some stupid reason. Okay, now we are at selecting a mirror. So, Canada is a good place. I've had issues with rantfile.ca before, so I don't know. What should we do? Well, these guys are as good as anybody else, even though it's not my... it's not where I work. Okay, I wonder what the deal is with the focus on this thing. If it's actually correct or if it's wrong. Okay, it should be good enough. Let's see. This should install updates while it's doing this. Suddenly retrieving a lot of files. It seems to be retrieving the same subset of files, though. 27 and 36. Okay, what are we doing now? Blank. When I did my trial installation, I didn't bother setting up a mirror or anything like that, so... guess there's one thing. I'm not entirely sure what it is doing. Oh, here we go. Now we're installing the bootloader. Okay, it wants me to choose a device. It should be SDA. I don't know why enter device manually is the first option when it suggests that you install it to SDA anyway. Oh, that's Linux for you. Okay, installation complete. Cool. So, let us reboot into it. I think what I do before I do boot is I'm going to change that optical drive. So I will be right back thanks to the magic of video editing. Or rather tape-based camcorders. I probably won't even have to edit this at all, other than the time-lapsing that I might do. Okay. The drive is good. Samsung CD-ROM, so it's got a Samsung CD-ROM and a Samsung hard drive. How cool is that? Although it did before, that DVD burner is a Samsung drive too. It's only a CD-ROM, so I'm not wasting a DVD drive on this thing. Since I know that it uses CDs. Saying that there's a BIOS bug. Well, being an HP computer, I would not be surprised. Alright. Okay, so it has booted. Okay. So I don't know about you, but I am actually rather annoyed with Debian right now because Debian has got something very, very wrong. With the, the Linux folks out there, especially the Unix weenies, love to complain about how the Windows way of doing things is wrong. And love to complain about this and that, when you say something, oh, you're wrong, it's supposed to be done this way. Watch this. Let's go in to our network configuration, and I'm going to show you what they have got wrong. See that? Well, you can't see it because it's not in focus. But you can trust me. Netmask 24. What the hell does that mean? Okay, I know what it's supposed to mean. It's supposed to mean a netmask of 255.255.255.0. That is how it's supposed to be. Not this crap. This is wrong. So whoever designed this needs to throw it out and rewrite it from scratch because it's wrong. Okay. So now that I've had my Unix weenie rant, we can continue. Okay, it's now quite a bit later, as you could probably tell. But I've decided that, I was going to try and use OpenMediaVault on the USB, which I did manage to get to work. However, it's got some issues. Most particularly, it is the fact that I am, on this stick, running a beta release, even though that's the release they gave me. Don't really know how that happened. And I was going to reinstall, but I figured, you know what, the hassle is way too great. I can just use this NAS for free installation, which is working just fine. And so that is what I'm going to do. And in the next video, we'll have a look at my attempting to use OpenMediaVault and running into issues. And also the eventual configuration of NAS for free, which seems to have worked rather nicely. Until then, folks, this is CP666 signing off, and I will see you then, and on all of my previous or next videos. Well, you can watch my previous videos too, but they're not very good. So, I guess there's that. I've run through the entire tape already. Yeah. Probably because